What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the podcast. I can already tell this is going to be funny. So I'm sitting here with makeup artist extraordinaire.
Oh my goodness. The pressure.
Amber Singletary. And we are going to have a conversation today about the makeup industry. And the reason I'm not a makeup artist, obviously I'm a photographer, but I'm passionate about it because our two industries go hand in hand. Like we both need each other. And so we've both been at this for a long time, and I believe that your insight and some of the things that you can just share from your experience is going to help a lot of people. So first of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So listen, I'm always interested in origin stories,
Okay.
and I want to know how did you get started in makeup?
Wow.
Like, what was your first experience?
So it was truly by accident.
Okay.
So I used to do hair,
Okay,
and I was doing hair, actually in hair school, really. And I would do like makeup, like actually not even makeup, eyeshadow on some people, right? But I was so good at it that people kept saying like, "Oh my God, you should be doing makeup." And initially I was offended because I was like, "Dang, what y'all trying to say? I can't do no hair." So anyway, I was like, okay. So that went on. I graduated from hair school, and right after I graduated, I was working full time somewhere, and me and my best friend at the time, Mac was popping in Georgetown, right? So I was like, oh my God, I said, as a joke, really, I said I should go into Mac and apply to see what happens. Went into Mac, did the application, whatever. So then they called me back and they were like, you have to do a face for your interview. So I was like, oh my God, how in the world? Like I had not even put foundation on anybody at this point. It was just eyeshadow, right? No lashes, no nothing.
Right.
So took my best friend in there, did her makeup, and they don't even tell you, like, I went in there like, okay, I'm going to keep it basic, right? Went in there, and I didn't know that they actually tell you what to do, whether it's like a daytime, nighttime, party, whatever.
Okay. So
I had to do evening. No, it was day to transition to night, right?
The application.
So basic had that nailed down. Then she came back and said, okay, so show me how you would take this to nighttime. I was like, oh, Lord, what am I going to do? So anyway, long story short, I thought I blew it because it was just, oh, God, it was terrible. Before I could get back to work, and we did this on my lunch break, before I could get back to work from Georgetown to Chinatown, they had called me and offered me the job.
Wow, okay.
So that's how I really got into makeup. Okay. And when I did that, I was like, oh, well, then they'll teach me, what to do for real. No, that's not the case.
So you had to. So they just kind of gave you the job, and then
they gave me the job. And when I got there, I'll never forget. His name is Todd. Todd Parker gave me a brush belt, and I was like, I don't need a brush belt yet. Like, when do I go to training? And he laughed. He was like, no, this is your training, the floor. Oh, so wow. I learned to do makeup on the floor of Mac in Georgetown. Literally. Training. Yep.
I've always, of course, you see the artists that are working in the stores, but you never really, I see them, but you don't really know how they got there.
Right.
But I do understand a lot of them, that is their first step into the business of makeup. But how, like, for you, you're full time.
I'm full time.
When did?
Child.
If y'all don't understand, this is okay. We have not talked about this.
We have not.
But both being full time, I understand exactly what that side meant. So go ahead and explain to everybody how long have you been full time? Let's start.
I've been full time since 2019.
Okay. What has this 3-year journey look like for you? Like, how has it been?
Amazing. Okay. It's really been, honestly, it's truly been amazing. And I'll say probably about from 2012. This is cut me off if I'm too long, but this is, so I went from 2012 to literally 2019. Every year saying, I'm going to quit my job and doing this full time. Me and one of my girlfriends who is a hairstylist, and we would have conversations almost every day. Like, when we going to quit our job? We going full time. I just could never get the guts to do it, right? Because I'm like, my full time was paying good money. It was dependable money where I didn't even have to worry about like all the makeup money. It was my side shopping money, right?
Right.
So 2019, it was August, actually. August 2019. I forgot the exact date.
Okay.
So I go into work. Now, I love fashion, right? Mm-hmm. But I had never...
Oh, we know. We know you love fashion.
I had never dressed like this, right? So I'm like, I still can't put that piece of the puzzle together, but I never have dressed like this for work, right? Okay, nonprofit organization, Chinatown, D.C.
Wow, okay.
For whatever reason that morning, I got up dressed for work. I was feeling good, right? I put on a all-white suit.
For work?
All-white tuxedo suit. White, satin white striped down. For work, right?
Oh.
Go to work. I got to work at 7:30. By 8:30, we were doing, my organization was doing this whole, they were interviewing employees, trying to get, what could they change, da-da-da-da-da. Mm-hmm. So the lady who called, I think her name was Pamela, actually. Mm-hmm. She called and was like, hey, I want to meet with you. So I said, okay, like, we did this yesterday, fine. So she comes to my office and closes the door and she says, before I say this, now I had been with this company from 2017. From 2000 to 2007.
Okay, so
moved to Charlotte.
With the company?
No, separate. Quit the job.
Okay.
Moved to Charlotte, came back.
Okay.
They heard I was back in 2010.
Okay.
They asked me to come back.
Okay.
So total span, I had been with this company for 14 years, right?
Wow.
So she comes in the office, closes the door, and she says, Naro has decided to end their relationship with you. At that point, she was talking, I heard nothing else but blah, like literally like Charlie Brown, wah, wah, wah. That's all I heard. And I'm just looking at her like, what am I going to do?
Right.
Left work immediately, calling my daughter like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Like just panicking. Right. And she was like, Mom, what are you doing? Like, you've asked for this. So what are you doing? Like, go home, sit down. If you need to take the week, and get to your business. Mm-hmm. That was literally our conversation. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, let me calm down. I had an anxiety attack. I'm sitting there in my car. I got out the car, went in the house, sat on the couch, and literally the next day, the makeup it was booming.
Really?
Literally the next morning. I didn't even have the week to take off. The next morning, clients were like just booking. And I was like, oh my God, my only regret is that I just didn't do this sooner. And literally have not missed a beat.
Was there any point in time were you afraid? Because, and here's why I'm positioning this.
Okay.
I knew you were full time, but I didn't know when you went full time. Mm-hmm. And you know what happened a few months after you went full time, like with the world, the whole situation.
Yes.
Like, so how did that play out? Like, where were you mentally? Because a lot of times we make the decisions or we do things, and then something happens that could have you like, did I do the right thing? Hey everyone, listen, I hope you all are enjoying this episode of the podcast, but I just wanted to stop for a moment to tell you about my favorite camera bags in the whole world by Think Tank Photo. And you guys, I think they're my favorite because the build quality is absolutely phenomenal. Listen, right here, I have my Production Manager 50, and I also have my Airport International Series roller bags. These camera bags go with me everywhere. Now, in this particular bag, maybe I have a couple of camera bodies and some lenses and speed lights, or maybe I'll have all of that as well as my strobes, my light stands to include my C-stands, light modifiers, you name it. Everything that goes in here, I always know that my gear is going to be protected, whether I'm traveling through the city or whether I'm on and off airplanes. I promise you, these bags, this equipment will protect your gear. Now, maybe you're not in the market for a roller bag. Maybe you're looking for something in the backpack style. Maybe you're looking for something for cable management or your memory cards. Think Tank Photo is going to have everything that you need. So I want you to go to thinktankbags.com. That's thinktankbags.com. Go through the inventory, see if there's something that you like. And I promise you, if you invest in one of these bags, you will not be disappointed. Now let's get back to the episode.
I'm going to be absolutely, I didn't. Like the biggest fear for me was that day I got let go. I mean, that I could not have been more scared in my career than that particular day because it was a shift that I didn't plan for. Now, even though the pandemic hit, it was kind of like, not that we saw something happening, but we saw kind of like things starting to change. Like we were wearing masks and, things were building up. Mm-hmm. But when the pandemic hit, the only thing I thought about, honestly, when I decided to say, okay, no more clients, because people were still coming.
During the pandemic.
Until I shut it off. I was like, I can't.
Okay.
People were still trying to come, and I said to myself, like, look, you just have to stop.
Okay.
My only fear in that moment was, okay, when we come out of the pandemic, what am I going to do? Because this is a luxury service, right? Nobody really needs their makeup done. So I just was thinking, like, okay, when we come out, what am I going to do? But I wasn't fearful. I wasn't afraid of, like, I just wasn't. I really took that time to say, because as you know, like, this is a hustle business, especially as an entrepreneur. I took that time to say, oh my God, I've been really working off and on since I was 14. Mm-hmm. So this was my time to finally just take a break and woosah. And that's what I did. It was amazing. I shouldn't say that, but it was.
No, I mean, but that's real talk. I mean, because, and we'll get into it. Like, I think you have to be mentally tough to do what we do. Just because,
and that's an understatement.
Everything is unexpected. So you know, it's hard to plan. I mean, you can believe in your skill set. You can believe in, you can believe in the time and the reps that you've put in.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you don't have total control. You don't have total control of the job either, but there is a peace of mind that, you know, every 2 weeks that check going to hit, or monthly, or whatever.
Yes.
What challenges have you faced in doing this? Like, I know you haven't missed a beat, but what challenges, or have there been any challenges that you could say over these last 3 years that you have faced that you weren't expecting, you know, in this journey?
It's a challenge, but it's been a good one. I was not expecting the support to be so overwhelming.
Wow. Okay.
From clients. Like, it has been times where I literally battled with what client to take and what client to turn away. So I would say the challenge has been just not being able to have two of me.
That's
because the support has been.
A lot.
I mean,
so
some days I sit and just. I mean, of course. No, let's be clear. Every day is not full, right. But when I'm having like a week when it's like slow, and I'm like, oh my goodness, okay, nobody came this week. The next week it almost triples that week that was slow. So I think it's a balance for me. It's like I have my slow moments, but then when it picks up, it makes up for those slow times.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's some balance.
Yeah.
It works. It always seems like it works itself out. What I'm interested in knowing is, like, for you, what would you say, and we're going to get a little bit deeper into this.
You keep saying deeper on these questions.
We're going to get deeper. We're going to get deeper because I don't... Because, like, I told you, like, it's people always know us for what we do, but they don't really know who we are.
That's true.
Like, they know us for the service that we can provide. And just like when we were talking yesterday in the episode, I was like, as a creative, you constantly, when you operate in your gift, you give away part of who you are. And sometimes you don't replenish. You don't. You really don't replenish, right? So I'm interested in knowing from a business perspective, how has marketing been for you? Like, are you like, how do you use social media? Are you mainly word of mouth in your business? Like, what does that look like?
It's word of mouth.
Really?
All is word of mouth. So, like I said, the support from my clients has just been amazing.
Okay.
And they, of course, will post and tag me. And if somebody's looking for a makeup artist, they tell them. But I have not really, and that's what I want to get into. Like, I really want to focus on marketing, because if the support has been like this through word of mouth,
that's crazy.
I can only imagine what it would be about, if I really utilize marketing. Like, I use social media to post, but I don't really say like book now. And I'm trying to get into that by saying like, hey, book now, keep putting my website up, but I don't really market.
Have you noticed a difference between website versus social media? Like, do you get hit more on social media, or is it on your website? Like, what would you? Or
it's through my website, which is weird. So I don't want to say it like that, but when new people come, I always ask them, "How did you find me?" And so they always say, oh, I just Googled makeup artist. And they'll either say you came up on, your website came up, or you came up on Instagram. Not many people say Facebook, but they say you popped up on Instagram or your website popped up.
And they still went to your website though, right?
Then they still went to my website.
You know how that is?
Why?
This is just my personal belief.
Okay.
That we can post as much content as we want on these social media platforms, pictures, video, but it's not really branded to us. I think websites give people more of a, this is Amber.
That makes sense. Because they do say, when I went to your website, I was like, oh my God, yes, that's her. So that is true.
Yeah. And like,
wow.
It's like, and this is one thing I've struggled with as a creative is we want to go to where the attention is, right? So we constantly, we want to post on social, but it's not really, I can't make, Facebook going to be blue today, tomorrow, the next day. That ain't my colors.
Right.
You know what I mean? Instagram going to constantly change something. Right. It's going, this post got 50 likes, 100 likes, 300 likes yesterday. Now it's 10.
Right.
I don't know what's going on.
Right.
You know, but I rarely, and I don't, some people have in their bio, no direct messages. I don't have that, and people don't contact me through social media. Every once in a while, I'll get a message, but most of the time it goes to my website, which tells me they're looking for more than what's on here. Because if they went to that platform and saw everything they needed to say, they would hit right there.
That is so true.
It's almost like, okay, I see this, I want to know more. Then they go like, okay, yeah, let me contact them. So they going from the website.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And I think a lot of us, again, we're so busy head down. We don't really, we're not really taking the time to think about that.
I got to go update my website.
Hey, look, at the bottom of your website says 2015. You need to update your website. People like, ooh, let me at least change the year.
I don't even know what it says.
That thing say 2014. Oh my God.
Mine might say 19.
We gonna fix that. We gonna fix that this week, Amber. We gonna fix that this week. I'm gonna check and you update your website. Look,
that's it. Okay.
Well, I want to know.
Oh Lord.
To you personally, what does success look like for you? Like for at the end of a week, at the end of a month, at the end of a year, because that's what we at the time of this recording. That's what we are. If you look back over your previous whatever, what would you say success looks like to make you say, okay, I see success during this time?
See, everybody is about numbers, right? I'm not a numbers person.
Okay. So
my success really looks like I have been living my dream.
That's amazing.
Like that is. Now, sometimes, like you said, social media, right? So sometimes I'll scroll on social media and I'll see, of course, like somebody this morning posted they bought themselves a Tesla for Christmas, right? So when I see stuff like that, I'm like, dang, are you doing enough? From a material standpoint. But I've never been a material person.
Okay.
So when I think about my success, I'm like, you have really been hustling to live your dream. And I'm doing it. Like, I almost get emotional thinking about it, but like, ooh, nope.
Take your time. I get it. It's hard to really put it into words.
Hard, like I'm living what I always wanted to do. Since me and this makeup career met, like I said, for those from 2012 to 19, I kept saying like, oh my God, I just want to wake up and be doing what I love to do. And I'm doing it. So that is like, I'm not rich by any means materially, but I could wake up and do makeup. I mean, sometimes my day starts at 4 a.m. and I'm good. Like I'm opening the door like, good morning, sunshine. Like I'm happy. So my success I'm just living my dream.
That's amazing.
I'm living my dream.
That's.
Yeah, see, you tried to get me with that.
Hey, well, you know, we
oh Lord,
here we try to delve deep into the lives of the creatives to uncover those hidden things. No, but that's real because social media will have people following the wrong thing, and it's hard to explain. Everybody's reason is different. The reason I ask that question is because success looks different to different people.
It does.
Some people require different things. If you into the shopping thing, that's cool. Right. Ain't no problem with that. But I think people just require different things. But you
better not make my lash come off.
If it fall off, I'm keeping it. I'm just letting you know. I'm telling you right now, you better tell that thing to hold on, because
hold on. I'm just.
That's so real though. Yeah. Because some people can't live in their truth because they're too busy trying to impress people. But if you got peace, if you got joy, you live in life how you want to live it on your terms, there's just a different level of accomplishment, I think, that you feel with that. So I get it. Yeah. I get it. You know, and I think culturally, and I'll say this, sometimes I believe culturally we put too much stock in those things. Nothing wrong with them. Yeah,
absolutely.
But I think sometimes it becomes how people identify themselves, you know, and then you hear something crazy happen to those people, like, well, I thought they were so. Right. But most people that you hear that just got it like that, they'll tell you, I really hope one day you hurry up and get everything you want so you can see it's not it's not the chasing thing. So I feel you on that. Listen, I want to transition into your experience as a makeup artist. I want to know, how do you think social media, if at all for you, has influenced the expectations of your clientele? Like, do you feel, because, you know, Instagram got these filters, they got all that stuff. Do you feel that there's been any influence as far as the people that you work with?
From the client's perspective, I think that it has, because like you said, they see the filters and they thinking one thing. So I've had people, like, over the years that come and they'll show me a picture of somebody and, like, I just want to look, I want my skin to look just like that. You know what it is. And I'm like, and I'm just honest. I'm like, this is a filter. Right. And they're like, no, it's not. Are you serious? And so I do the zoom, you know, you pinch and you zoom in. And I'm like, nobody's skin is that flawless. Right. Like, if you zoom in on a picture, of course, I shouldn't even be telling, I know you know. But
speak on it.
But if you zoom in on a picture and you don't see any texture, no pores, and it's just like a clean, as smooth as a table, it's a filter. And so I haven't necessarily had any pushback, but those people who are like, I want to look just like that. I want the J-Lo glow. I want the child. I'm like, then you know what? So I'm gonna take your picture and put a filter on it.
So with that, how you feel after you do a photo shoot? Because I know this has happened. How you feel when you see your work with a filter on top of it?
I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
That did burn you up, don't it?
I hate it. I absolutely hate it. That's all I can say. I really hate it.
I think that
because it's almost like a disrespect.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? I mean, to me and the photographer, like...
Absolutely. We feel the same way.
That's disrespectful. Why would you do that?
We feel the same way.
Look.
Yeah, because it's like, I think...
And I don't want to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Now, you got me on this one. But not only is it a filter, but it's a filter that makes you look completely different than what you actually look like. Yeah. Why would you even want that for yourself?
So do you get clients that feel like, when they come to you, they want makeup that, you know, you're not going to look like yourself after that? Or is everyone that comes to you pretty much like, okay, I'm good with where you are? Like, do you get any...
You mean like somebody who's like, I don't want to look like myself?
Or people that's like, you know that they're asking for such a heavy application that you're like, yo, this is going to really... Yeah. Like, I don't usually do this.
I have both.
Really?
Yeah.
And they actually ask you for that?
People ask me for a Michael Jackson nose. Specifically, when they sit down, they say, give me the Michael Jackson nose.
You know I'm gonna use this as a clip.
I'm so sorry. Jesus.
You know I'm gonna use this as a clip. That's gonna lead off one of these. They really ask you for that.
And it's been more than one person. Like, multiple people have said, give me the Michael Jackson nose.
What'd you say back?
Okay.
Swipe
Baby,
right
I
here,
get
please.
that brushing. How hard do you want to chisel?
Oh my God. You're terrible. Hey, but you know what? If that's what they want.
But it's social media. They see celebrities, and it's not everybody, but they see celebrities and they want to mimic them. So I'm like, why? I mean, a lot of these celebrities, they do stuff because they performing, they having a photo shoot. They not walking around like that every day.
That part.
So why do you want to look like your face is literally chiseled?
Yeah.
But to each his own. I'm not sitting in a seat of judgment, but I just want people to be, especially like women, like just be more comfortable with, like, of course we want to enhance you, but to make you look completely different, like, when you take this off, you know you're going to meet yourself again. Okay, I'm sorry.
I can't. It's about to go sideways. It's about to go sour. Listen. Speaking of that, do you ever feel a sense of, like, what I've always found interesting from a photography aspect is almost before they take their photos, when they come out of makeup, do you ever feel a sense of when a woman just comes out of makeup, gets out your chair, and you could just tell they feel totally different about themselves?
All of them. And I'm not saying that.
But how does that? But as an artist, how does that make? Like, what? How do you feel when you see that? Like,
I feel amazing
because it's not just about the face at that point.
It's not just about the face. Like, it is, and that's something. That's a conversation for another time. But like, so I have experienced that pretty much. Like, once I felt comfortable saying I was a makeup artist, I have experienced that like numerous of times, right? But it really wasn't until, hold this together, it wasn't until I did my mother's makeup.
Okay.
And my mother was a person, all my life, she has not lipstick, no nothing, never. So I was in North Carolina visiting her, and I said, and my brother is a photographer. So I said, Mom, let's do a makeover. And I'm going to do your makeup. Marvin's going to take your pictures. And she was like, okay. So I was like, oh my God. So when I did her makeup, that night, did her that morning, that night we did pictures, she came home and she came back around the corner and she said, you really don't know how good I feel. I have never felt this good, ever. And when she said that, I was like, so these women are not lying to me. I mean, not that I thought they were lying, but to hear from a mother who's a plain Jane, like, never did anything, and all night she just kept talking about how good she felt being made up. It was then that I was like, we really transform people. Like, we really make them feel so good about just by makeup. Something that's going to wash off for that hour or however long they're wearing it. They really feel like somebody else, but in a good way.
I think you all, I've said this for a long time. You guys control so much. Like,
I believe that.
Y'all control
I believe that.
a lot, and it bothers me when I don't see you guys getting your just due. It really, to be honest, that was one of the biggest reasons I started this, was because of how I see makeup artists not getting their just due, man. Like, especially in the world of business, y'all control the looks of these people's brands.
Say it again.
Y'all, you control their brands.
That part. That is so true.
Because they could use the same photographer 2 times in a row, and if they change their makeup, it's going to be different. And a lot of people's money is attached to how they look. I mean, I'm not saying it in a vain type of way, But it's a reason why some of the celebrities keep the same 1 or 2 makeup artists and
true.
won't change, because their look is dependent, and they live in a world where people criticize everything. People that are jealous from fans. You know, I've worked with some folks, and they've told me, hey, when you edit, I need you to make sure that you look out for this, because people be mean in them comments.
Wow.
And it's not that they wanted to be changed so much. It's just so much of is observed because people are looking to nitpick. And I can't imagine people that are always on camera, people that are always in public, people are always being looked at. So what you all do, it's beyond just the look. It's almost, I believe, and this is me, there's somewhat of a security factor knowing my look is good. Clothes going to change all the time. That makeup won't change.
Oh, absolutely.
They're going to change clothes multiple times a day, but their makeup
so true.
is a part of who they are. And I believe that I would love to see more makeup artists jump into their personal brands more, so people can know who they are. So true. So they can earn what they really deserve. Because I see, and you know how you know about us, and I see some stuff that comes through, and I'm like, y'all care more about the handbag, like the makeup just a check. Oh, I get makeup to check, but then you're gonna put more effort into this, and I'm like, you got it, or you don't want to pay for this, or you want me to come out crazy hours, or travel here. Listen. So look. Y'all, I just, any makeup artist I talk to, I'm gonna always give y'all flowers, because y'all, we can't, as photographers, we can't do what we do without y'all. Like Photoshop is alright, but it ain't y'all.
Right.
It's not. And I'm really appreciative of everything that you guys bring to the table. Yeah. So listen, I want to know for aspiring makeup artists, right? How do I want to frame this? I'm not talking about, and y'all don't take this the wrong way. I know somebody is, but I don't, whatever. I'm not talking about the makeup artists that are just on Instagram and YouTube. I'm talking about people that are legitimately interested in making a career out of this. Do you have any advice that you would share with someone that's thinking about getting into it, or someone that's kind of they're into it, but they're in the early stages trying to find their way? Do you have any advice that you would share with them? Yeah,
so a few things. As far as skill set, I would say don't be a cookie cutter.
Okay.
Social media has the same old trends. The highlight and contour for everybody. They have the same cut crease. Be inspired, but don't be a cookie cutter, because you have to learn your own technique. I remember when I started out in 2004, at the time nobody was doing makeup lessons. So I'm grateful that it wasn't the YouTube, the Instagram, because it really forced me to create and develop my own technique.
Okay.
So I would say from the skill set, really make makeup your own. Don't be a cookie cutter. Behind the chair, really develop on your personality. We're not just playing in makeup.
Okay.
I've had so many people say, "Oh, you're so nice. Oh, my last makeup artist wasn't like this. She didn't talk. Your presence and the way you communicate with your client is, to me, is going to be whether you get that client again or not. Your skill you can always work on, but how you treat somebody when they are in your chair, they're always going to remember that. And I don't think enough artists pay attention to that. We've gotten to the point where people love makeup so much. It's hundreds of makeup artists, right, in this area. So anybody can call anybody and get a job. So now we have become almost like, not everybody. Some makeup artists, I'm learning, have begin to treat themselves like the celebrity. Like, you paying me to show up. I'm going to show up how I want to show up. That I'm going to do the work and whatever. like I take time to ask my client, like, how do you want to feel? Or how do you feel? And then we engage. A lot of people don't do that. It's like with this service, like I said, it's a luxury service. So your customer service skills has to be top notch. It has to be. And we don't put enough, they don't even train that, honestly. They don't train customer service skills as a makeup artist unless you've worked for a high-end, I hope nobody even knocks me for saying this. Mac is not Mac like it used to be.
I've heard that before.
Mac back in the day, it was almost like a live runway every day, and your skills had to be. It was almost like, I remember one of my trainers saying, when you come through that door, you're an actress. Like, you are putting on for every client that comes through that door. Now it's like, as long as you got the retail experience and you can sell to make your quota, that's all we care about. Mm-hmm. So unless you're working for a high-end brand like Chanel or somebody who really cares about the customer, working in retail is not going to give you that experience. So I would say, if you're up and coming makeup artist, beyond just knowing makeup, you got to have a personality. You have to have customer service so that you can get those repeat clients. And to me, that's more important than the skill set. It could be backwards, but to me, that's more important.
So you're saying it's like you got to make the experience.
You have to make the experience. Turn off your phone. I mean, when I have a client, it's a whole experience for me. Like, I want to create, I take my speaker.
Everybody say, tell me about that.
We turn on music.
Okay.
Like, it's a
vibe. Wow.
It's a whole vibe. Like, I don't care where I'm going, hotel or whatever. I set up, I turn my music on. It's the first thing. I used to do candles, but I don't do that anymore. But even just the music, people take notice of that and like, oh, wow. I'm like, do you have a favorite playlist that you want to listen to? Like, what vibe do you want to be in? And it just helps them relax in the chair. It helps you to be present, them to be present. It's a vibe. It's
and you vibe. Think that's probably a big reason why?
Yeah.
Word of mouth.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh man, I want to do a part 2, and we will, but I think we're going to jump off right there because this has been a conversation that like I said, I know people are like, why is he so passionate about makeup? It's just I really appreciate y'all, and I appreciate you taking the time to come through, drop some gems.
I'm so honored to be here. Like, really.
We're honored.
I'm so serious. Like, when you said that, I was like, me? Okay, I'm going to do this. And I was talking to my daughter. I was like, I'm nervous. I don't know.
You know why? Because Amber, you're a solid person. Like, it's not, and you and I haven't had a lot of conversations. So this is just what I actually see. Like, you're not flighty. You solid. You about your business.
Thank you.
You're consistent. You know what I mean? And that, if we put out any type of content that's going to try to inspire people, those characteristics are representative of what I want to have on the show, right? Because I think it's people want to be able to look at people and say, okay, this person is really doing this as a career. This is not something for likes and comments. This is something for career, peace, and satisfaction. So I thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much. I mean that for real.
Absolutely. All right, you guys. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.